southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony back with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. Today we got Trey Reed, is your last name, I believe?
Yes, sir.
Also known as the Dreaded Archer on Instagram and social medias, and I love that name.
Yes. Can we get a love for that name?
And I know Trey's obviously a bow hunter and just recently got back into duck hunting, but I know he has his own podcast as well that seems to do very well based on the research I've done. So super excited to just hop on and talk all kinds of hunting and podcast and whatever with you, man.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear your story.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got a little bit of a wild story.
That's good. We like that.
A little wild. But yeah, I'm Trey. I'm from Texarkana, Texas. Just moved back here, actually. Spent the last 10 years in South Dakota, which is where I found my love for archery hunting and all that. So, yes. And I got the podcast, Dreaded Archer Podcast. And, yeah, just love the outdoors.
That's awesome, man. Well, I guess, I can't not ask, what brought you up to South Dakota, Texas?
My job. So I got recruited to work for RJ Reynolds Tobacco. So they handle Grizzly, Newport, Camel, and all that stuff. So I'm a tobacco sales rep. And they called me one day and was like, hey, we want to give you a job. So I'm like, all right, sweet, I'll take it. At the time I was at a community college and you guys worked in the education system but it sucks.
Right on.
Well, so, we're both in sales too, so I feel we respect the grind.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. So they hired me and they originally placed me in San Jose, California. And which I was like, cool. I just want to get out of Texas,
bro. Right? I know.
That's it.
I know, man. It's a scary place to be, honestly.
Oh yeah. It's not too bad, but I was born and raised here, so I'm like, all right. I left for college and then I came back. And I'm like, hey, I want to leave again. Right. But they called me like a week before I got ready to move and was like, yeah, we made a mistake. We actually already filled San Jose. And I was like, okay, but the moving truck already came and took all my stuff.
No way.
So like, where am I going? It was like, well, will you go to Sioux Falls, South Dakota?
What?
I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So they bought me a plane ticket and South Dakota I went.
Dang, man. So take us through like getting into the deer hunt up there. I mean, growing up, were you into the outdoors and stuff? I mean, and that kind of led you to doing it up there or what?
No, not at all. Like my dad, he hunted, but that was like his thing. So I remember being little, been at his house. And like, during like when you're little, I don't really know like the months and stuff, but I know like in Texas, whenever it started getting cold and it's football season, that's when everybody starts hunting. So I knew that. So I was like, hey, yo, can I go hunting? And he was like, oh, no, you're too young. So a couple of years passed by. Hey, can I go hunting? No, nope, not yet. So I remember I was in like the fourth grade. He got me a BB gun. I just came home one day and he had one. He was like, if you can learn to shoot this BB gun and hit these cans, I'll take you hunting. So I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So every day after school, I'm going out shooting these cans, and I got really proficient with a BB gun. So I'm like, all right, now it's time for the big gun. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, okay. And then he brought me some hunting boots. So I was like, at the time, I'm thinking I can shoot a deer with a BB gun. I'm little, So I'm like, I got the gun, I got the boots. It's time to go. And he went back on his word. So around that time, I was like, all right, like obviously you're not an honest person. You go back on your word. So I'm done trying to hunt with you. Mm-hmm. So I just like forgot about it and just started focusing more on sports. And so I had no outdoor background at all, like growing up.
So when you went up to South Dakota, I mean, because bow hunting, like, I mean, this, like, it's one of those things that's so hard to get into on your own. And like, I mean, there's a million different, sights and arrow weights and broadheads. I mean, the list goes on and on. So, I mean, did you like find like a mentor up there that kind of like showed you stuff, or did you start winging it?
Oh yeah. A guy named Kim Meester, he owns Archery Outfitters. He's actually like the guy that basically took me under his wing and was like, hey, like, this is archery. And it's all started because like, once I moved to South Dakota, and that was like the first year where like I'm not playing football.
Uh-huh.
So you graduate from college, and it's like, okay, there's nothing left. There's no NFL, nothing. My identity was wrapped up in football for so long, and the season, it's time for the season started ramping up, and I got like super, super depressed. So I was going out drinking every night, doing stuff I shouldn't be doing. And basically the girl I was dating at the time, she was like, yo, you're super depressed. Like, we need to get out the house this weekend because something is off with you. So every morning on my route to work, I always pass this little wooden sign that says archery shop. I'd never been into one. So that day we actually drove by it, and I was like, let's go in there. So we walked in, and Kim was there behind the counter, and he has a tech named Kurt. So Kim and Kurt's talking to me, and they're just kind of give me the layout of the shop and everything. And Kim was like, "You ever shot a bow?" And I was like, "Not at all." He gives me a mission hammer and was like, "Go out there and shoot it on that range." Mind you, he didn't tell me how to pull it back, nothing. So I'm just kind of like, I'm thinking. So I knocked the arrow, and I just go back old school style.
This fall, elevate your outdoor pursuits with Williamson Outfitters, offering professionally guided experiences along Florida's Forgotten Coast. Whether it's coastal duck hunting, inshore fishing, gator hunting, or flounder gigging, every Williamson Outfitters experience is guided by a seasoned, licensed captain, delivering world-class adventure with local expertise. From small private groups to large corporate retreats, our fleet of well-equipped boats and experienced guides deliver first-class outdoor adventures for sportsmen of all ages and experience levels. Call or text 850-251-8650 or visit www.floridaducks.com to book your trip. Williamson Outfitters, making the Forgotten Coast unforgettable.
Right? Yeah.
No release. And he's like, "Oh man, I forgot. I gotta get your release." Take it back, and he gave me the release, and I shot it, and the target was only at 10 yards. I shot it, and that it did something to me, like sparked something up in me. I don't know. I tell people it's like some kind of ancestral DNA just like activated.
Yes.
And so I got another arrow and I shot it, and then he pushed the target back. He adjusted my sight, shot it again. Next thing you know, I'm at 20 yards. I'm shooting. My group's looking like this, but as the day goes on, it's getting smaller and smaller. And I walked in the shop at like 12 o'clock that afternoon. I didn't leave till like 8 that night.
Wow. No
and before I left, I was like, "Yo, I want to buy a bow." He was like, "Well, come back tomorrow, and we'll get some. We'll have some ready for you." So I was.
Yeah, they're like, "Trey, get out of here. We're trying to go home, bud."
And so I was like, "What time you open tomorrow?" And he's like, "We open at 9." I was there at 8 o'clock in the parking lot, had my breakfast and everything, and because I haven't been excited about anything like that for a long time, so I was like up and ready. And I went in that shop. I bought a mission hammer, not the one he let me shoot, but another one. He got me suited up, and I'm in that shop every single day after work, just shooting. And then this one guy, I forgot his name now, but he's always hanging out there. And he was like, "Hey, you going hunting?" And I'm like, "You can hunt with this?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Man, what I got to do?" So he walked me to, his name is Bob. So he walked me through getting my hunter safety and all that, and then how to apply for tags and all that in South Dakota. And then the girl I was dating at the time, her family, they had like 12,000 acres.
No kidding.
Hunting land in western South Dakota, which I didn't know was from hunting land. So her dad was like, "I hear you're in archery." And I'm like, I just picked it up. And he was like, "Well, we got a ton of deer out in the back. You're very welcome to go out there and hunt anytime you want to." So I'm like, "All right, cool." Like, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So I literally just go get a ground blind because I didn't know how to get into a tree stand, and popped the ground blind up, and he dropped me off and was like, "Hey, I like walk out there across this field, and that's where your ground blind is." I'm like, "All right, cool." Walk out there, sit in the ground blind, probably in there for about 30 minutes, and sun comes up, and there's a doe that's like 20 yards in front of me. So I just like, "Oh, this is great." I'll let her have it, and she took off, and I just started like shaking. I didn't know what I thought. I was having a stroke or something.
Yes.
Like shaking, and the only thing I could think to do was like I had a honey bun in my bag, so I like grabbed it. I started eating on it, trying to like calm myself down and shaking. I'm like, what's going on? So I call him. I'm like, hey, I first deer, and he's like, already? I'm like, yeah. So he comes out there and he's like, well, good job. He goes, you know how to field dress a deer? And I was like, not at all. He was like, well, here's a knife. I'll see you later. And he walked.
Oh, no way.
Oh my God.
I did what I did best. I went to YouTube University. I looked up how to field dress a deer. I sat it up on this, I had a little stick, put it in the ground, put my phone by it, and just watched the video and just paused it, listened, paused, and cut, and just going back and forth. And so I figured it out. And after that doe, it was on and popping. After that, I was like, I'm an archer now. Like let's go. So that's what got me into it, man. Like depression and just wandering into an archery shop.
Wow.
Man, that's awesome, dude. Well, I mean, it sounds like just what drove you to be successful at football. Like, obviously, you didn't have that what am I trying to say? Like, you didn't have that like output or whatever to like. You didn't have that place to put that energy, and then once you found that place to put that energy, like it sounds like it was just on. Like,
oh yeah, dude, it was on and popping, and I was like constantly like buying gear and just tinkering with this and that. And then like my brother, he was like, hey dude, like you should like document like your journey. And I'm like, ain't nobody want to hear that. And he was like, no, it's like somebody got to. He was like, think about it, you stopped playing football, you were depressed. He goes, I'm sure there's other athletes out there that are dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with. So that's how the podcast originally started. It was just me reaching out to other former athletes and seeing how they were handling their depression with not being like without football. Like I had one of my teammates, he ended up, taking his own life, like
oh man,
2 years after we, graduated. So I don't know if it was because of him missing the sport, but who knows? But I was like, I just want to be able to talk to people. And if they are dealing with something, maybe archery could be their outlet like it was for me. And then it just kind of just spiraled into what it is today.
dude,
Man,
that's awesome.
That's so neat. I mean, being a veteran, and we got several friends that are, and obviously, we all know how important it is that veterans have been connected with the outdoors, and it's saved tons of lives. We got a buddy of ours that runs Project Save Your Outdoors out of Florida. Big shout out to Mike Dragic. And he just got sick of his Marine buddies. I think I can't remember the number, but it's staggering how many had committed suicide, but it's something that I see relatable because it's that camaraderie, right? It's that push that, man, me and my brother, dude, no matter what, we'll be in the trenches together. We're going to fight together. We're going to play hard football, whatever. It's the same mentality. I can see the tie between the two. And it's interesting to me that I've never heard that, as far as the sports go, but immediately as you're talking, I'm going, I see it. I mean, I see what that tie is, and man, good for you. I mean, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
starting that.
And see, and he had it double time because so I went to the Naval Academy. That's where I went to college.
Oh,
so,
cool.
So Brimmer is my teammate. He was a Marine officer, and then he ended up getting out. So now he's missing the military and football.
Oh man,
It was
right.
like you get a double time, and I still talk to guys I went to school with today, and a lot of them are now just starting to get out, and they're like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like I'm still dealing with missing football, and now I don't have a structured life anymore. Like I don't have to get up and go to formation. I don't have any kind of duty to fulfill. So like, what am I like? What's living for? It's like, man, you got to find something, bro.
Right.
You got to find that next thing, either whether that be your family or hunting or something, but find something to fill that void. Because if not, you will get lost in it.
Yeah.
That's really good advice, man.
And maybe that's why, all of us that, and I know you've experienced this too, Trey, is just that, man, and I'll tell you, when you get my age, I feel like I say that a lot lately, but I don't look back when I was 12 years. I can't remember every deer I've shot. I've shot tons of deer, but I can tell you when I was 15, whenever, the first time a grunt call was invented. Whenever my stepdad thought these guys were crazy, like he told me, he said, you're not hunting here this weekend. That's what he told me. He said, get that stupid thing out of this house right now. He said, I've been hunting since 1952, whatever. And I never heard a deer say that. You know, it's what he said. I never heard deer say that. But he's also the same one that after about a year, he goes, you know, I started listening for it. He goes, and I heard it. He goes, and I couldn't believe it. He goes, and I didn't admit to Kevin and Dwayne that I did. You know, because he could not believe. It's just funny when you're not listening for something, how you don't hear it. You know, just like, I mean, I think that the whole first part of my life, I didn't really care about turkeys so much that I never heard them. But, you know, when I started listening for them, all of a sudden I started hearing them, you know, so, but no, that's interesting.
Yeah, man, it's I can relate a little bit because like I didn't play like college ball or anything, but like just leaving my life, like I love football, and that was like the outdoors was kind of like what filled that void for me the exact same way. I mean, not so much in like the depth, but like of, you know, being in a dark place or anything like that, but just like, what do I do with like something I work hard at and like I love to do? Like, where does that energy go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's those camaraderie times that we remember as hunters.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what we remember most. And I guess that in our soul, like you said, you connected with something that day. You know, we also do that when we connect with other people that, you know, we don't know you're at hunting camp with. And you're like, man, I didn't know a single person there.
Yep.
But I feel like at the end of the weekend, I've known them all my life.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah, I would get that all the time. Like, I would just pack up and like go hunt like random public land in South Dakota, and it would take me to some small towns.
Yeah.
And I'd walk into this diner, and if y'all know South Dakota, but ain't a lot of, you know, black folks walking around. So I walk in, everybody kind of looking, and then they see the camo, and they're like, "Hey, you hunting?" I'm like, yeah, who hunting that? And I tell them, and they're like, "Oh man, ain't no deer there. You got to go over here, man." Da da da. And then you sit down. Next thing you know, you're there for 2 hours. Y'all talking, drinking coffee, and it's like, man, you guys are, you know, 30, 40 years older than me, and we sitting there having a good conversation. Now I don't even want to go hunt. I'm ready to talk. It just brings you into like some wild places. And I had a guy just like 3 years ago message me on Instagram. Hey, you ever antelope hunt? I'm like, nah, never. He's like, I want to take you antelope hunt. Come out to Rapid City.
No kidding.
I'm like, bro, I don't know you. Like, I pull up on you, know, and go hunt with you. But what you call? So he gives me a call, and we talk on the phone for like 3 hours. Never met this guy in my life, and we just, you know, talking whatever. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna go out there and hunt with him. So got my tag, and we went. I drive out there like, because Rapid City's like 6 hours from where I lived in South Dakota. So I got up like 2 a.m. and drove out there.
Oh man!
So get there, meet his family, everything's cool. His name is Rob. I want to say he was like 50. He was like 55. So go out there and start hunting. And we're sitting on the side of this hill and we're glassing. It's probably like, you know, around noon. And I just started laughing, like giggling. And he was like, "What's funny?" I'm like, dude, like, never would I imagine I'd be out in rural South Dakota hunting with the 55-year-old white guy that I've never met before. And he was like, "Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy." And like right around that time, we see this really nice buck. And I was like, he's like, "Man, we got to go get him." Well, we started making a move on him. Well, we're on public land. So this other guy was like probably on the next hill over, and he saw the same buck. So he makes a move, ends up pushing him on private land. I'm like, bro, this is terrible. Like, I drove way out here. I got a 6-hour drive back home. This is not, I got to get this buck.
Yeah.
So we get on Onyx. And at this time, I didn't even know what Onyx was.
Yeah.
I was like, I get on Onyx and find out who owned that land. I'm like, yeah, what? So he shows me. I'm like, this is pretty dope. So we find this guy named Bradley Bauer. And so we like get on Google and find his address, in which he lived like 5 minutes down the road. So like we're super lucky. Pull up in this guy's yard. He walks outside and is like, "Which field y'all want to hunt?"
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh." He's like, "Yeah, man, people drive up and down this dirt road all day. I got to kick people off my land. No one ever thinks to come ask. You guys are the first guys in like 20 years to actually ask me to come hunt."
are you kidding me?
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, "Yeah, we want to hunt that section like right over there, like probably 5 minutes down the road." He goes, "Yep, go knock yourself."
What's up, guys? Tristan here. If you're like us, you need gear that's going to stand up to the elements and not break the bank. That's exactly what we love about Frog Talks. They just dropped their brand new Oxbow waterfowl series, and let me tell you, this stuff is built for serious hunters who don't want to quit when the weather turns nasty. It's tough, lightweight, and waterproof. everything you need when you're out there chasing ducks. If you're looking to upgrade your gear this season, head over to frogtogs.com and use code OneHellOfALifeOutdoors at checkout for 15% off your order.
Stuff out. So we go over there.
And that's something.
All you gotta do is ask.
Right.
Sometimes.
Right.
We ended up seeing the buck, snuck up on his heel, and I got the shot off and put him down. And
Wow.
we're going crazy. So we go down, we started getting them, and all of a sudden we hear this truck just flying through the field. Blue truck goes over his heel, boom, comes over. It's Mr. Bowers. I heard the gunshot, boys. I heard the gunshot. You get one? And we're like, yeah, and we're like, all three of us sitting there celebrating. Now, Rob, 55, Mr. Bowers probably in his late 70s. We're out there just having a ball because I got this buck.
Wow.
And we became friends, like real good friends. Like I would go out and help him do a little fence work every once in a while and stuff like that. Just to, hey, you let me hunt your land.
Yeah.
I'll do a little work for you. You keep letting me hunt this land.
Right.
It's a trade.
Exactly.
So it was dope. And but I just like the outdoors have brought me, made me connect with people that I would have never probably come in contact with. And I'm still friends with them today. Just every once in a while, you still hunting, or I'll hit them up and ask them, how the harvest is going and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's crazy what, like the connection that hunting will bring you.
Oh, 100%, dude.
It
Yeah,
is.
I mean, the connections that, I mean, just a social media message could, what it could turn into are crazy. And I think you brought up like a really good point, like about, asking for permission and like treating people's land with respect and stuff like that. Because like, I didn't really realize this. I mean, so like a state like Arkansas for duck hunting, like the days of like knocking on a door and getting permission to hunt, like now it's over with, man. You know that.
Yeah.
But like, out west, like that's still you can still find that, but farmers are getting, which this from living there, farmers like and we only know this from having people on the podcast. We've never experienced this, but it sounds like farmers are getting like pissed off because of so many people that have like treated their land wrong or like don't ask and go on.
What do you mean we don't? Let's smoke all those geese
I'm
because
not
somebody
talking
hunted
about Illinois though. I mean, I'm talking about like
Arkansas,
South Dakota, North Dakota. That's what I'm talking about.
But you're on a strong point there. I mean,
yeah, I guess it applies anywhere, really.
Oh yeah. See,
But-
this is a trick right here. This is what I've learned in South Dakota. Now I don't know if it worked anywhere else, but I know it worked in South Dakota. One, do not go like the day of or like a week before the season. You want to go like in the summertime.
yeah. Yes.
Don't be wearing camo. Just come in some nice polo, some nice slacks.
That's right.
Be shaved up, look presentable.
That's right.
And then go get either some kind of canned goods or jar. Like I always take like honey. Like my ex, her parents, they had a ton of honey because they let people raise bees on their land, so they gave them honey. So I'd have like honey or like some pickles, something. And hey, my name is Trey. I was driving by, saw you guys had some a buck over here the other day, some deer on your property. I'd really love, if you guys would, agree, are down with it. I love to have permission to hunt your land this year. And sometimes they be like, well, we don't let nobody hunt. Oh, you know what? That's cool. Hey, I got some fresh bread, some jam, some pickles, whatever. Hey, here you go. Thanks for your time. But if you guys change your mind, here's my card. I always got a call back. Or they will say, you know what? You're the first person to come and actually bring something. Yeah, you can have permission.
You paid it forward.
That's it. And if they say no, cool, they got some bread and some jam. But in the event they say, yeah, they got the bread and jam and you get to hunt. I mean, that's the fair trade to me.
Dude, that's smart. Yeah.
No, it's so important. And, and even too, I mean, it's might not be that way up there, but, something as simple as having a permission form.
Yep.
Like I know the state of Illinois has one that, have the state of Illinois on it. So, there's always the fear of any property owner. If somebody's on my property and they get hurt, I don't know this person. What's going to happen? If that happens, and you having that just to set that comfort is important. But you hit the nail on the head though, man. I mean, look presentable. Don't go the week before season, when everybody else is, but just go meet them and try to be friends with them.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it's just so important. I mean, we've done that over the years with a few people, and crazy that we even had an instance where my wife met somebody and she told my wife, she said, "Hey, your husband hunts?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, tell me he come hunt anytime he wants." And I went, "Say what?"
Right.
I thought my wife was pulling a joke on me, bro. I really did. And I was like, listen, that's not the way it works. And sure enough, we're still great friends with them today. Big shout out to Matt and Jess.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
it's nice, man. I tell people too, sweat equity will go a long way. Like if you got
Mm-hmm.
a farmer and it's harvest season, or they're putting up some fence or anything, moving grain. I don't know if they're doing any kind of work. Hey man, roll your sleeves up, get sweaty,
That's right.
and that'll tell them like, oh, he's about putting that work in. He just don't want to hunt and leave. He's actually going to give us something for actually letting him on our land. So a sweat equity can go a long way.
Right. And I mean, this is going back to when I was a kid, but I saw my parents do it, still today, had my parents not went about it the right way, they got access to 4 square miles. This was the largest single contiguous piece of privately owned land in northwestern Illinois in the Golden Triangle. All right. And had not been hunted in over 20 years, except by a relative, one gun hunter. But my mom met, and my stepdad met them and went over there. And I remember my mom saying, we're going over to have dinner with them the next night. And she made us all dress up. She made me and my brother dress up. And we went over there. And I remember when we got done, the farmer was German. And when they got done with dinner, he offered some cognac. And my mom looked at me, who's German, looked at me and she said, "Oh my gosh." I go, "What?" She goes, "He's accepted us." I go, "What?" I said, "It's like a German culture thing." And I was like, so my long story short with that is still today, those daughters of that family are like, they're like my sisters, I mean, they really are. And that state, that land, unfortunately, got taken over by the state. Long story with that. It's now a public land area that you can hunt. But still, the point is we don't have nothing to do with hunting together at all. And these guys are like my sisters, and like an aunt to Tristan and everything else, and it's just crazy what can stem from you walking up there and just putting a little hard work in for somebody,
No, exactly.
So tell us a little bit. That was good stuff, guys. That was I really enjoyed hearing that. By the way, just your experience up there, Trey.
That is.
But tell us a little bit about the podcast journey, man. Because I saw you got that. So Carbon TV, you got like an award or something.
Oh yeah. My 100 episodes. So I started the podcast, and like I said, I started talking to former athletes that were dealing with depression, and then it just I started having people hit me up like, "Hey man, I got a story." All right, cool. So I'd bring him on the show and talk to him. And then I met this I saw this guy on I don't say it was Instagram. His name was Greg Gundella Jr. And he has a big time archery up in Pennsylvania. Brought him on the podcast because outside of Kim, I didn't know anybody who owned a bow shop. So I wanted to talk to him. So hit him up and we started talking, and he was like, "Dude, I really like this show. I've been on a lot of podcasts, and like, dude, you ask some really hard questions." He's like, I have a show on Carbon TV. I'm going to get you in contact with Julie McQueen. She's the president, and see if if they'll pick your show up. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. That's dope.
Right.
A couple weeks went by, I didn't hear nothing, and I'm like, oh man, he fake. He didn't come through for with me. But like, it's all good though. Had a good show, and then it was like a week after, like I was thinking, had that thought. I get an email from her assistant saying, "Hey, we want to sit down and meet with you." And I'm like, all right, cool. But I thought it was just the assistant. I didn't know, you normally don't get to talk to the president of the company.
Right.
And I was like, okay, cool. Like, what all do I need to have? And he's like, well, Julie wants, you to have this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, she's going to be on the call. So they get on the call, and she was like, well, just tell me about yourself. And I just basically told her the same thing I just told y'all.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, sounds good. And I'm like, dang, like, It didn't work. So we'll be getting back with you here pretty soon. And
You're like, yeah,
and-
okay, maybe.
yeah, so then we started talking again. Like the conversation just started going on again. And right before we got off, she was like, "Hey, before we leave, she's like, I just want to know, do you want to join the Carbon TV family?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so they faxed over the contract, and I read it, signed it, sent it back, and I've been rocking with them ever since. Like they are, they're a small team, but they do the work of 100 men. They're really good there. They really help the podcast get out there, help me find guests, and it's been great. And I like to talk to anybody. That I think that's why a lot of people like the show is I'll reach out to somebody and they'll be like, "Well, I'm not that big, or I don't have that many followers." I'm like, "I don't care, man. You
Right.
hunt. That's all I care about. I don't care about follower count. I don't care about who you sponsored by, what you shoot, any of that. If you shot a little spike and that's your first buck, I'm gonna have you on the podcast. I don't care. I just want to talk to you about the outdoors and what it means to you and how you got involved in it. And it just spiraled to what it is now. And I won Carbon TV's best podcast last year, and that was a big goal because me and my brother went to the 10-year banquet, and they was giving out awards and all that stuff. And we're sitting there, and I forgot who won it that year. Christy Titus, she won best podcast. And I looked at my brother. I was like, "We're gonna win that Joker next year."
Yes.
And he was like, "What?" I was like, "Bro, we're gonna win that Joker next year." And we flew back from Detroit April 22nd, and from that day on, I was just grinding. I'm talking like doing 4 and 5 shows a week. I was
Wow, man.
upgraded my gear. I was like laser focused. And then when I got nominated, I was like, okay, now I'm nominated. Now I got to win it. I'm in it. Now I got to win it. And just put out videos and just kind of up my game, just continue to do shows. And then they had the award ceremony. I won. And I was like, all right, now it's time to go for number 2. And I think at that time, I was only like 30 episodes in.
Wow.
And I just like cut it on, boom, and just kept doing more. Just 4 and 5 podcasts a week. Sometimes 2 and 3 a day. Like I was just rolling, and I was just super motivated, and I kept finding more and more people with interesting stories to talk to. And it's like, I don't know. I just love it. I love talking to people. I don't know. It was.
Dude,
Amen on that.
that's amazing. And
That is.
I think one thing like that resonated with us out of that is like, okay, and not to say like I'm not like throwing any sort of shade because there's people like you talk to a bunch of different people and like somebody might have 200,000 followers and they might be like the most entertaining podcast guest ever, or they might be like very quiet and the whole time you're trying to like pull conversation out of them, which is fine, everybody's different. But then it seems like I think part of it's probably like the guys that like are like you said, they're like, oh, we don't have a following or whatever, but they're hunters. Like sometimes the stories you get out of those guys, because like they don't have time for social media. A lot of these guys,
right?
All they're doing, man, they're just out there hunting. And just some of the stories, and just we get off some of those podcasts sometimes. We're like, dude, that was like the most interesting thing I've ever heard.
Well, let me say this, and I know that all three of us will agree with this, and the rest of the world may not relate to it unless you do what we do, and that is every single person on this planet is unique.
Yeah,
no doubt. You don't need a following
to be unique. Yeah,
to be unique.
No doubt.
So if that's your thing, you don't want to be social media buff, that's fine. I know the world kind of pressures you that way, that you need to do that kind of thing. But man, we have had, and I know you can say the same thing, Trey, we have been humbled to death.
What's up, guys? If you want coffee that doesn't suck, you probably can guess what I'm going to say. Get the Duck. Dirty Duck Coffee is the official coffee of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor podcast, and they have a great lineup of different coffee blends, everything from Morning Wood and First Flight to Dark Dynasty and Suns Up, Guns Up. You can't go wrong with Dirty Duck Coffee. And they have a great lineup of cold brew cans, mocha, French vanilla, original cold brew, and cinnamon teal snickerdoodle. If you want 15% off your next order, use code OneHellOfALife15 on your next order.
By people allowing us, I'll use that, to be part of their life for an hour, hour and a half.
Yep.
I mean, and that to me is something super special, something that I am so respectful for. I think they don't understand how much we respect it. You know, I mean, it's truly an honor.
Let me ask you this, Trey. How many times? Because we just experienced this recently with a guy that we've shared literally hundreds of hours in the duck blind with.
Yeah.
We had him on the podcast for the first time. Talked to him for an hour and a half or whatever it was, hour, and learned so many things we'd never known about this guy. Like, how often does that happen with your teammates or whoever you have on? Like, have you ever felt that way?
Oh yeah, I had a guy that I played football with, and like he was this big, this dude from South Philly. You would have like just the hardest person I ever met, just old, mean, and all this. But I had him on the show, and we got to talking. And this dude has a love for cast iron skillets. He loves cast iron skillets. I'm like, I would have never pictured you to be a guy that not only cooks, but you love cooking in cast iron.
He probably eats cast iron skillets too.
Right?
He's so tough.
Yeah. And he was like, oh yeah, man, he's telling me all the different ways you got to season it and all stuff. And I'm like, dude, I collect cast iron skillets. I'm like, how are we on the same team and that never came up,
Right.
Yeah, and it's just
exactly,
like,
dude.
it's weird like that. And I mean, there's just been there's so many people that I talked to. And he's like, dude, I would have never known that. Like,
right?
Never got it. But that's what you get with a conversation when you're talking, and like people open up and they're vulnerable and they're willing to share the story with you, and like I love it.
Yeah, man. No, the vulnerable is the word, and man, that to me is always something that I cherish out of this podcast. I feel like it's a
privilege,
a privilege. It is a privilege. 100% it is.
Oh yeah, I know there was one guy. This was like early. I think this was like my 6th or 7th show, but I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw this guy. He's sitting in camo on the subway, and I'm like, sitting in full camo on the subway. So I messaged him, like, yo, dude, saw your picture. You're sitting on the subway in camo, with your bow. I got to hear your story.
He has bow on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hit him. So he hit me back. He was like, bro, cool. I got a story. I'd love to share it with you. Never been on the podcast before, but I'm down for it. Come to find out, this dude is part of a pretty large community in the Bronx of New York. And there's a group of guys, Black archery hunters. And in order to hunt in New York, the only piece of public land that's close to them is it's the far east. So they have to get up in the morning at like 1:00, take the taxi to the bus station, get on the bus, take the bus to the subway, get on the subway, go far east, and then there's a bus that runs called Metro East. Get on that, and that bus actually has a bus stop at the walk-in spot.
Dude, no way.
I'm like,
wow.
Wait, what?
Dude, I'm never going to be a lazy hunter ever again.
Yeah.
Ever. Dude, that just humbled the snot out of me. Oh my God.
And he's like, he goes,
big shout out to those guys.
Oh, definitely, man. Shout out to Cliff Cadet, man. He's a great guy. And he was like, and then in order for us to take our bows or our weapons, you have to get like a special license from the state of New York, and you have to then get it approved by the bus department and all the public transportation and all that. And they got to have it cased up at all times, and it's a whole big deal. But he goes, but the crazy part is when he got his first buck.
Yeah, like, all right. So now what do you do?
So I was like, so now I got to hear this. He's like, well, I got my first buck. He goes, so I got to get as much as I can in my backpack, and then I got to take the bus to the subway. I'm sitting on the subway with this deer the head antler sticking out my pack next to me, and the whole time I just got my head down because all eyes are on me, and they see this game bag that's just covered in blood, and it's like I'm just sitting there just like, dude, that is nuts. And then he was like, yep. And then I get home, and then I'll have all these game bags hanging up on my patio. Well, of course, people in New York, a lot of people don't hunt, so they looking at the blood covered sheets.
Yeah,
they calling.
Of course.
So
right.
police are knocking on people's apartment doors, like, "Hey, yo, whose apartment is this? They finally find it's like, yo, I went hunting. This is deer meat. No one's murdered. Like,
Wow. Isn't
But
that wild though? I mean,
wild.
my gosh.
Such a
and-
different world, man.
exactly. And then they got like, they don't have processors out there. But one of the guys, he got a van and converted it into basically his like a processing van. So he'll pull up to your parking lot in your apartment. You come down, he got a meat grinder in there. If
What?
you got a sausage stuffer, and he can do all that stuff out of his van.
No
So it's like-
way.
It's wild how, like, you know, when you think of New York, you don't think about hunters, but there are
No.
there, and they've adapted to. They have they're hunters, but they just do it a little different than a lot of us that have, that live in on acreages or live in rural areas. They just do it urbanly. It's dope, man. I love talking to Cliff.
Dude, this
It's-
is one of the coolest things I've heard about.
Yeah,
Like,
you must have just been like mind blown.
Oh yeah, dude, I was shocked. Like we talked for like 3 hours.
Wow.
Like, dude, like, and I've had him on the show several times, and I mean, it's wild that when you think of New York, you don't think of anyone being interested in the outdoors or anything like that. But there's a huge community of archers and hunters in the Bronx, in Harlem,
Wow.
and within the 5 boroughs, and they're one big community that they help.
isn't that cool as hell?
Their license and all that. It's dope.
Dude.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
No, listen, this is going to be, again, since we get off this podcast, Tristan and I are going to be high-fiving about this because we're going to be like, dude, what? Yeah, I mean, my soul is going to be sucked tonight researching this stuff because what it really is doing for me right now is like, my God, we always think about how we do it, right? Dude, we don't think about anything outside of your little box that we live in, dude. I mean, not because we're being selfish. It's just because it's just a stereotype, right? Maybe, or something. But that is fascinating. And I would have to bet that there's probably from small groups to whatever, in maybe a lot of big cities, like might be Chicago, might be here in ATL, man. I mean, seriously, it's just, that is cool. That is so freaking. It's one of the coolest things I've heard this hunting season so far. I mean, honestly, that is so cool.
Yeah, you guys got to check him out. His Instagram is Urban Archery NYC.
Okay, I'm a follow.
Well, we're doing it right now.
Yeah,
While I'm following him, so we work with Frog Togs. Like they do like waterproof stuff and the waders, a lot of duck hunting stuff. Fishing.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that.
I got one of their waterproof like suits when I was.
Oh, nice. Yeah, exactly.
it again?
Perfect.
What was
Urban? What was it?
Urban Archery NYC.
So their new like marketing director guy, Donnie, lives up in New York, and there was a couple other guys that are like also kind of do what we do that went up there and hunted with them,
cool.
and they went to like it looks like they went to like downtown like New York, all dressed up in camo like duck hunting gear, and did this promo video, dude. I'll send it to you on Instagram. They did, but they dropped it today, and I'm like, this is amazing. Oh, okay, here we go. I see this guy. Sweet.
Oh yeah, dude, New York is cool. They even have this thing called Carps in the Park, and
What?
my friend Brandon Dale, I met him just on Instagram, but he takes people out to Central Park, and he got a special license from the state where he teaches people how to fly fish in Central Park, and they catch carp, and they catch them and throw them back. But it's just one of the things that they do out there in the outdoors. It's like it's super cool. And I'm like, man, I would have never guessed that you guys get down like that in New York. And he's like, dude, we got some serious hunters out here.
No, yeah, never would have guessed that.
No, so it's like I would have never known. Like, had I not, got in the outdoors, or hell, had I not even just reached out to him on Instagram, I would have never known that. If someone had said, dude, I give you $1 million if you can guess how many archers are in New York, I told him maybe 1 or 2.
well, apparently, like upstate's like super country, right? Like super, like people are out hunting and all that up there.
Yeah, like
right?
by Albany and all that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
There's big deer in excuse me, I got
I believe it.
beer, but there's big deer in New York.
yeah. No, I believe it, man. Any of them northern states. Where outside of South Dakota and Texas, I mean, what states have you deer hunted in, man?
So Arkansas, Colorado, Wyoming, Iowa. North Dakota, Minnesota,
Wow.
and that's Oklahoma, and that's it.
Oh,
But
that's
see,
awesome, dude.
so where I actually live on the border of Texas and Arkansas. So
Okay.
like we have a street that runs through the middle of town. So I can stand on one side of the street and I'm in Texas. On the other side, I'm in Arkansas. So like I can get I'm closer to Arkansas than I am Texas, and there's more public land in Arkansas than there is Texas. So I get tags in both states, but I mainly hunt Arkansas when I'm here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can kind of double dip or play the seasons how, and I would imagine too, like the ruts probably like, depending on where you're at in Arkansas and Texas, probably, could be a couple weeks apart, right? Or no?
Well, where I'm at, it's about the same. Because
Okay.
like I can literally like if I'm at my mom's house, I can see Arkansas from my mom's. From my
Wow.
mom's
Okay.
house.
Yeah.
It's that close. And then like in Texas, there's one public land spot in Texarkana, Texas. It's like 10 minutes from my house. But if I go literally 5 minutes east, 5 minutes west, I have access to thousands of acres of public land over on Arkansas side. So
How do you hunt now? Do you do lock-ons? Or are you a saddle guy or what?
I'm a saddle guy.
Nice. So
Yeah.
okay, so this is interesting. So all my dad's ever done was, lock-ons, and that's, what I've always done just because of like growing up hunting with him. But like the saddle thing kind of feels a little intimidating to me. And I get like the flexibility aspect, especially on public land. It seems you can't argue with it from that standpoint.
No.
But like from your perspective, coming from somebody that didn't even hunt until like a certain age, like how was it like making that jump to saddle?
Oh yeah, it was pretty easy because what I did
Really?
was because I got the saddle, and then in my backyard I had a tree, so I just would practice on. I wouldn't go too high, just probably like maybe 2 sticks. I'm like, okay, I got the system down, and then I would just do that. I did that every day for about like a month, and then I went out to the archery shop, and they got real big trees out there. So I just started going. All right, I'm gonna go 3 steps now. See how high I can get. All right, do that for a little bit. Then I add another step. Okay, I'm 4 steps up. I'm pretty dang high. This seems to be good. And then it's just I'd practice just falling, just trusting the string. And once I could trust that all the ropes was good, I'm like, all right, I'm good. And I was never intimidated by it. But my thing was I was intimidated in the dark. That's where I didn't. That's the one variable that I left out. When you practice when the sun's up, it's easy.
Yeah.
When it's dark and you just got that little red light, it's a whole different story. So I just had to like get a system down where I would put all my gear in the bag in the order that I would take it out. So once I knew that feel and that routine, then it could be pitch black and I can, if it's as long as it's a straight up tree, there's no branches sticking out, I can pretty much get up there quick, about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Dude, I crack up and I see it every year. It's just, I know you guys have seen the reel of somebody, and it's somebody walking through the woods in the dark, and this is, Jesus loves me, yes I know.
Yeah.
I'm that guy, dude. Like
we've all been there.
When I first started hunting, I would not sit till it got dark. I would wait and like, yep, time for me to get out. And and my buddy's like, dude, you're never going to kill a big buck, leaving early because they come out the last 15, 20 minutes before, after, sun started going down. So one night I'm in the stand, I'm on public land and I'm sitting there and I was like, 15 minutes, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
And nothing came out. As I'm getting down, I hear something behind me go, like something like it jumped.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm stuck on my ladder and this buck walks right behind me. And he's just, I can hear him and I can see the silhouette.
Oh no.
Well, even if I was up there, I wouldn't be able to see him. So now I'm just stuck because I don't want to scare him because I plan on coming back the next day. Yeah. I was there for like 30 minutes, just like stuck. And then I was like, well, I got my lineman's rope. So I just kind of just like hung there. Just sat there and just watched him. And that was the first time I heard a buck go like, ugh. Because I'm like your stepdad. I didn't say, man, deer don't do that because I've never heard that. And I heard him. I'm like, oh snap!
All right.
But I've always had a grunt in my bag because everybody got to have a grunt. But I was I I never heard no deer say that or do that.
Right.
And yeah, it's like sweet. But on my way down, I'm walking, and it's like there's something behind me. And as soon as I could see the parking lot and see my car, I just took off. And then I got to my car, I'm like, oh, I'm safe. And I'm out of breath and everything. I'm like, I got to get better at this. So now I got a little red headlight. As long as I can see something, I'm good. My brother, he's 6'4", 280, scared of the dark. He will not hunt. You cannot get him to go to the stands early in the morning or stay late. He refused.
Oh, dude, that is funny. I feel like when I was younger, like I'm still like I get kind of nervous out there, but like when I was younger, like if back in the day, like it would maybe be a walkie-talkie, like, and maybe he had a phone, but I didn't have a phone when I was like 11, 12, 13, whatever. And I like sometimes would almost be about to cry because I'm like, dude, is he leaving me out here? I'm like, is he ever coming?
All right, listen, it's story time. Listen, you got time for a story, Trey?
I got all night, man.
All right, so my brother-in-law, and I'm going to tell us as fast as I can. Of course, as outdoorsmen, we want to get people into the sport. Younger people is great, whatever. I'm in my 20s. My brother-in-law is, 16, 17 years old. And I said, hey, you want to try hunting? He's like, man, I don't know how to hunt, So I taught him some things, got him in a bow and all that. Well, I said, well, you got to complete your hunter safety course. Well, back then, we lived right by the Olin Winchester plant, and Winchester always hosted that, which was really cool. And you have to go there on a Saturday all day long, and then a part of a Sunday. It wasn't all online. And I said, I'll do it with you, so we do it. And he doesn't pay attention for very long. And I told him, I said, dude, you better be paying attention to what this guy's saying. And he's over there farting around and everything. And right then they're telling a story. They're saying, we're going over the part of what you do in an emergency situation. All right. And he goes through it all and he said, but the very last thing you do is light 3 fires in the shape of a triangle. By all means, you don't want to catch the woods on fire, right? So anyway, he's fiddle farting around. And about that time, the instructor sees that shit and says, hey, you young man. He goes, what's the first thing you do when you get lost? He said, light 3 fires. He said, no! And this guy screamed in front of the whole class. Well, fast forward all that. He ended up passing. And I told him, I said, stay in the deer stand until I get there. I go back there. He's not there. And I had to walk about 150 yards off this fire lane to go back there. And I said, why'd you get down? He said, well, I didn't know, like, what happened if you don't come get me? He goes, I was just kind of fending for myself. And I was like, all right, he's a young guy, whatever. But I said, listen, tomorrow night, do not get down. I promise you, unless I die. I mean, we didn't have cell phones to do this. And I said, unless I get killed, I will be there. I promise you. And I wanted him to be comfortable with it. Well, he decides to get down again. And one of my buddies hit a deer and I'm running a little bit late and he starts to get down. Well, he gets lost. And so about that time, my buddy that I had a 2-way radio with, he texts me, he goes, dude, your brother-in-law's screaming through the forest, help. And I go, what? He goes, all I can hear in the back, he goes, through the forest is, help, help, help. He goes, so me and my dad are on the way to go get him because they can get to him quicker than we could. But man, he learned the hard way that night. That's the point of the story. But anyway, so man. Yeah, no, there's something that dark does to you. There's something about being scared. It still happens to me today. I swear I had a Sasquatch follow me in Illinois whenever I was about 25. And something followed me, paralleled me on a hillside for a quarter of a mile and watched me get in my tree. And then wherever Sasquatches go, it went because it wasn't there. When the light, exactly where I heard it stop, as I climbed my tree, I watched that spot the whole time. And I'm like, dude, there's definitely going to be something standing there. Nope. Nothing.
I tried to scare my brother one time. We were out in South Dakota hunting on some public, and I was like, hey, man, like, what happens if we see a Sasquatch? And without hesitation, he was like, "Well, shit, we'll be eating some Sasquatch tonight." Dude, he's one of those guys. He's funny, but he's one of those guys. Like, we'll walk to the tree stand in the dark if he's with me.
Yeah.
But before we even start walking, he just like, what you need just in case, man. Like, just in case. Come on, man. Like, I'm taking this 100 times, bro. Nothing's gonna grab you, and you never know. This might be the 101st time. This guy. Right,
nothing will like
That's
instantly
great,
make
dude.
you piss your pants than when you blow up a whole bunch of turkeys.
Oh yeah.
When you're walking through the woods and turkeys explode, dude, I don't care who you are. If you listen, it's impossible to watch a punch without blinking. It's impossible to not piss your pants blowing up a bunch of turkeys over your head.
Turkeys and pheasants.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet you were
There's
into that
pheasants,
all the
right?
time, huh?
Man, I hate pheasants. I don't like. I know it's coming, especially like if you walk into like a Milo field or something. I know it's gonna happen, and it's like that sound they make, that woof,
Yeah.
and they fly up you like, oh my god, and you just like it sends chills through you. Man, all the time. Even like
Really?
deer, like you're out there and a deer will run through a field and spook a pheasant. Get me every time.
No disrespect to pheasants forever, but I can see you walking through the field with a shirt on that's pheasants forever with a circle and a line.
Yeah.
You're like, no way, buddy. You're not getting my money. I'll give it to the deer and the cattle farmers and everybody else.
I do. I like everybody in South Dakota. They love pheasant hunting. I hated it because it's a bunch of walking, and you get 3 birds a day. I can't do nothing with 3 birds.
Right.
You're like, yeah, okay, cool. That's like dinner.
That's it. That's one meal. And that's the thing. A lot of guys will go out there. Like, I get it. If you are a resident and you're hunting pheasant, you got all year long. But if you are a non-resident, you get 5 days. You got to pay like $400 for the tag. You get 3 birds a day. And then if you go into like one of these lodges, they're charging $1,500, $1,600 a gun. Man, that's some expensive that's some expensive pheasant meat.
God, man, you ain't lying.
Well, I tell you one thing that I do love about Idaho, because we got a couple of folks that we're friends with from Idaho, is that y'all do have some of the best waterfowl limits in the country. I mean, as far
Wait,
as
what are you talking about, Idaho?
oh, sorry, I just
South Dakota.
No, why did I think Sioux Falls, Idaho?
No.
Sorry, old man's mind got
I'm like,
mixed up
bro,
for a
like, we
minute.
ain't even talking about
No,
Idaho.
you're calling it Sioux Falls. No, oh my god.
No, I know what you're about to say though, Jason. Because out in Idaho, you can shoot 7 mallards. So that's what you're about to say. Wasn't it?
Yeah, no, and I don't know what South Dakota's.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't
Waterfowl.
duck hunt while I was there at all. Nope.
Man, do you look back on that? You're like, shoot, man, that might have been something to take advantage of.
Yeah, matter of fact, it was like 2020. We had like some crazy flooding late in the year, like September and October. Like all the cornfields like flooded. So a bunch of the farmers was like, we've lost this crop for the year. You know what I'm saying? So they basically let people come out and duck hunt. And I never did it, but I had buddies go out there and like, dude, this is like the best it's been in like years. Like you got all this standing corn is flooded. They go out and get there, get a 6-man limit like that.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, maybe I should have got into it, but well. But like it was weird in South Dakota because it opens up in zones. So like the zone I lived in would be zone 3. So you don't get to hunt until mid-December. It's cold.
Oh man,
I'm
that's
trying to be out there. And then all the ducks are gone. By the time it get to me, they out of there.
So, like deer hunting out there, like because when you picture like South Dakota, it seems so like open. Like, was deer hunting out there like like a spot and stalk game, or like were you able like what was deer hunting like out there?
All right, so where I lived at in Sioux Falls on the east side of the state, that's more sitting in a tree stand or ground blind. It's wooded.
Okay, so more like traditional.
When you go out,
More like a traditional kind of.
Yeah, it's traditional hunting. But then when you go out west to like towards like the Black Hills, like where Mount Rushmore is and all that. When it comes to whitetails, yeah, you can sit in a tree and hunt them. That's more traditional. But when it comes to like mule deer, it's all spot and stock, elk, spot and stock, antelope. And if you get lucky enough and you can draw a bighorn sheep tag, then that's spot and stock as well.
Man,
That's a once in a lifetime tag, or you
Yeah.
can get the governor's tag, but that's gonna cost you some bread.
Didn't Steve, like, I don't know how close you follow like Meat Eater and all that, but I feel like Steve Ornella like pulled one of those. I might have read about it in like one of his books or something, but it took him like you said, like his whole life to finally pull that tag. Like,
Yep.
if I
I feel like I might have just watched that episode.
maybe that's what I'm
Was
thinking
this
of.
the flintlock muzzleloader thing?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Well,
I'll have to do some research on that. But
Yeah, the bighorn sheep in South Dakota. So you can do the you can apply for it, and they give it like 5, and it's literally
Wow.
it's a once in a lifetime tag. Once you draw it, you will never draw it again. And normally it's like guys that are in their mid 50s and up that draw that tag. Or you can go to like do the auction and do the governor's tag, but those tags go for 200, 300 grand.
no kidding.
And then it's an auction.
Damn, dude. So when you were out there, did you do any like elk or mule deer hunting?
Nope, elk's the same way. So
Okay.
the elk is it's a once in a lifetime tag per weapon, depending on what season you hunt them in. But I know guys out there that's got 30, 40 years preference points, haven't drawn a tag. And then
Are
I
you kidding
know
me?
a family. This was 2021. This family moved in from Utah, came to the archery shop, and they're like, "Hey, we're new to town, trying to find a shop to call home." So we're like, "Oh, we're all talking to them, whatever." And it was like, "Well, hey, can we hunt elk out here?" And we're like, "Yeah, get in line. It's gonna take y'all a minute to draw a tag." So they apply for the tag. The husband did not draw, but the wife first time drew. And you
What?
had salty cats at the shop, man. You
Yeah.
draw. Like Kim, the owner, he had like, I want to say 36 or maybe 40 some years of preference points.
Are you kidding me?
And here's the
Wow.
kicker: if you do not apply every year, you lose those points. So if you miss a season and don't get your preference points, or at least apply, once it closes, you lose all your points and you don't get them back.
Oh no.
You got to be on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess there's something to be said about that's real. I mean, it's a weed. Let's be honest. I mean, that's going to weed out people that.
Oh yeah, true. Aren't
Yeah, I mean, if
serious
you're
about it.
really passionate about that,
Well, I mean,
you
yeah,
won't miss
yeah.
it, right? I guess. I
Oh,
guess that's the theory.
Guys got that in their phone.
Yeah.
That's in their phone. Like when it open up, like get your preference points, or apply. And if you don't draw, then you get your preference point. But at least apply. Like you have to apply, and it's or you can wait till like the leftover tags, which is why I never really understood South Dakota's elk draw system, because they'll be like, unit H3, which is like one of the highly sought out units. They're giving out 200 tags, so they'll have the first draw, and they'll be like 800 people applied. But then they'll do a second draw. Like how, like y'all didn't get the first 200 out of the 800.
Yeah.
Like,
what the
so
heck?
how does this work? And like to this day, no one's ever explained to me how the South Dakota elk system works. But
That
you
is
can
weird.
get like at the end of the season, there's like a couple units that are not no one really hunts. You could draw a cow tag easy, and that won't count against you getting your bull tag.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
at least there's
But
that
those
out there.
units are garbage. Like, they garbage. They garbage.
Dude, speaking of preference points, so like Georgia is such such a terrible waterfowl state that like there's a few opportunities in the state that are preference
Excuse me for a
point
minute.
lottery hunt type opportunities, and you got to have like 7 preference points to pull one of these waterfowl hunts. It's one time, one hunt, one day. Like,
Oh no.
isn't that crazy, dude? And like, I mean, they're like people that have like private ponds and private, like, whatever, like you can find birds here, but it's like not, I mean, it's a fraction of what, the Mississippi Flyway is or what they get
Yeah.
way out west. Like, it's just not even the same thing. So yeah, we're at like, I think I'm at 4 points. So, and I think once you get 6, you have like a 50% chance of pulling it, and then once you get 7, it's almost 100%. So,
Oh heck yeah! See, I'm only like an hour and 40 minutes from Stuttgart, Arkansas, and dude,
sweet,
there's
man.
some crazy duck. Like I've never been out there, but my buddy Rex goes out there every year, and dude, I mean, there's some duck hunters out there, and there's some ducks out there. But like people get like when you get to the like the boat ramp, they give you a number. So you can, like, you know, if you got number 1, you can be the first boat to get out there because it's so competitive to get to these some of those sloughs to the point where some people will get like they'll recruit a cross country runner.
Yeah.
Run through the woods and find a spot and sit in the water hole, and then people drive by, they just flash a flashlight like I'm already here, so they can save the spot for people. This is like 2015. My buddy was out there. And these guys, they had this honey hole. They were just smacking ducks. Well, some guys got jealous and went out there and threw corn in their water hole.
Oh, no.
Shut it down for the year. You can't hunt it now. It's over with. You cannot hunt it. So that's the kind of stuff that go down in Arkansas when it comes to duck hunting. If you got a honey hole on public and you hunt it every single week and you smacking, getting the limit, you best believe somebody going to go out there and throw corn in your hole.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. So like we hunt. We're actually gonna be out there next weekend out in Jonesboro. We hunt northeast Arkansas a lot.
Bro, and I'm literally like, I think I'm like 2 hours from Jonesboro.
No kidding.
I'm right down the road.
Oh shoot, dude, we gotta connect at some point.
Oh yeah.
But man, we've been fortunate enough to like spend a little bit of time out on the public land out there, and I mean, I don't know. I say fortunate lightly, I guess, because I don't know, man. It's a different beast out there, and people like you mentioned, like the games and stuff people play. Like, there's people that will like intentionally like team up boat wise and like block places, channels off, so people can't get to like other holes because like in low water situations you can't get to everywhere, and there might be 1 or 2 ways to get back to all these holes or whatever. But yeah, they'll intentionally like block holes, or you know they'll. I just heard a story the other day of.
Or they'll shoot shots over your head, try to intimidate you.
I heard a story the other day.
Well, there's no ducks.
Yeah.
Like literally, tink on your boat.
I heard a story the other day where I guess these guys at the end of their hunt or whatever left up headlamps. I'm assuming that's what they did, or they snuck back out there after hours or whatever. But these guys go out and hunt in the morning, and this was Lucas Haygood on TikTok that was talking about this. He said they went to hunt in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, we can't go over there. Those guys got that spot held down," and they drive the boat back in there, and I guess they just took the headlamps off. So they just had the headlamps hanging to look like there was people out in those spots. Like, and I don't know when they put them up or whatever, but
bro, we did that.
What do you mean?
You don't remember that? We did that out in Georgia.
Yeah, but we were out there.
Oh, okay. They weren't even.
In Georgia, you can stay all night. In Arkansas, you can't stay out there.
But you remember we put a headlamp out in the spot where we were going to set up?
Yes, but
we could see it.
Yeah, and you can stay all night in Georgia. You can go anywhere on like you can stay.
You can stay all night anywhere you want. Yeah,
like at least on waterfowl like situations. So you might not be able to like get out there and hunt. Obviously, you can't hunt, but like. Yeah. In Arkansas, regardless, after like 12 p.m., you got to be off the WMA. Yeah, so that's wild.
4 in the morning.
Yeah.
No, and you know, I think a lot of that's changing. We talk about it so much.
I hope it's changing. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like there's such a strong push of positivity flowing through our sport on both sides. When I say both sides, I'm talking about whitetails and I'm talking about ducks. All right. We talk about turkeys. That's a totally different thing. But I really do feel like I think that there's so many people that we associate with, especially when you talk about big names out there like 24/7. When you talk about Dr. Duck, you know, you talk about really anybody that represents a great brand on TV. You know, the Foul Life, anybody like that. There's such a strong push for positivity and, you know, working with others, hunting, you know, having relationships that you'll never forget, all that kind of stuff. Okay, come over here and hunt with us. Like I've always said, if you think that somebody's sitting up next to you on public land, they did it on purpose. I don't care what you're hunting, ducks or deer. most of the time, it's not on purpose.
Right.
It's either they don't know what they're doing, and you're best off to approach them in a very nice way. You don't have to be aggressive. Be nice and just say, hey, look, most times, like even deer hunting, when we run into those situations where people are hunting, we figured it out with them. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, I'll go over here, you go over there, that kind of thing. Or,
yeah, it just happened a few weeks ago. I was super thankful this guy was a saddle hunter, because we went out to this public land that's archery only up here. And we had hung the week before or something. We hung a set up there,
a double set,
yeah, for me and him. And this guy's like, man, I was planning on going right there, and he's pulling up Onyx and whatever, and we're like, shoot, man. He's like, but you know what? I got a saddle. I can just go up 200 yards, 300 yards and set up. And it all worked out. And I'm like, thank God, because if we would have had to move our stuff, it would have been a lot harder.
Yeah, well, and then he ended up doing some predator control and smoked coyote.
Yeah,
which was nice, you know. So anyway, but
most time when you talk to people, they're pretty cool. And I know in South Dakota, a lot of guys, you pull up to a parking lot in the morning, there's normally 2 or 3 trucks there, but once it's time to get out and start walking, everybody will get out their trucks and like, hey man, where you going? I'm going north. I'm going over this way. Then break, and then everybody break.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, and I used to.
If you shoot one, let me know. I'll help you drag it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've said this before. I come from a culture of public land deer hunting, in the Golden Triangle of Illinois, and what we always did was, because there were so many of us that did it all the time, that when I grew up, the only thing I knew was to love your other hunter. These people, I remember one year that it was worth it to everybody that we got this pavilion, and it was an outdoor one because it didn't have windows, and they went as far as putting plastic all around it, and all of us had a Thanksgiving dinner together. And these are people, I'm talking 60, 70 bow hunters, man. If you were to say you were to walk into a place that had 60 or 70 bow hunters in today's world, most people would be like, oh my God, but everybody knew where everybody hunted. Yep. They did. We talked about it. Everybody gave respect for the person that was up there in June, July, sweating their asses off, doing the work, putting it in, and you have to give that up. You have to give that up, that person. But that culture still exists today in this specific area I'm talking about in Illinois. And it's a really special place to hunt. And my goal is that I hope that we can keep pushing that and spreading that message, and understand that it's okay for all of us. Look, dude, you're over here, one camping spot over. We should be having a beer. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yep. Eating some deer chili, sitting around a fire, all that stuff. So I'm excited. My whole point with all this was, I do feel like there's a very great positive movement from some big names, way bigger than us in this business, that are doing a great job. And I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah. And I try to pass it on. I don't have a big name, but I try to, do my part and pass it on to other people. This was 3 years ago. I'm in South Dakota, and I had stands all over. I would just go out and put stands up on the weekend. But I had this stand up in Chamberlain, South Dakota, which is 3 hours from the town I lived in. And in South Dakota, you have to put your little tag on it. It's got your name, your hunter's license, your phone number on it. So I got it on the stand, and so it's probably like 6 o'clock on a Thursday night. I get a phone call. I don't know the phone number, but I answer it, and this guy's like, "Hey," I can't remember the kid's name, but he's like, "Hey, I'm this is my first year archery hunting. I'm out on the public land, east of the Missouri River. Can I hunt your stand? I see it. Are you coming out here to hunt today?" And I'm like, "Nah, bro." And he was like, "You can hunt it. Just leave it how you found it." He was like, "Cool." So that was it.
That's awesome. Man.
Wow, isn't that cool? Kudos to that dude.
It gets better. He calls me back at 9 o'clock. I shot my first buck. I just found him. Can you help me drag him out? And I'm like, dude, I would love to. I am 3 hours away. There's no way that I'm going to, by the time I get there, dude's gonna be late.
Yeah.
Right.
How do I field dress it? So I literally get on YouTube, find the exact same Steve Vanilla video that I used to field dress my deer. I was like, watch this.
Nice.
So I was like, call me in the morning. So the next day he calls me at like 7 in the morning. I got the deer out. It took me a minute, but I got him out and watched a video and I got him all good and everything. But I don't know what to do with him next. I'm like, take him to a processor. You don't got to do it yourself. And I never heard from that kid again. But I went back to that stand and he left it how he found it. Like, and I was like, hey, hopefully one day somebody will call him and say, hey man, I found your stand. Can you hunt it? But I end up not getting that stand out. It's like still there. So, I don't know. I forgot the kid's name, but if you listen to his podcast, you remember calling Mr. Reed.
He's probably shot 7 of them since then.
Yeah, right. That's so funny. Yeah,
I have that stand now because it was. Hey, I can tell you this: for him to find that stand, he walked in.
He did some work.
He did some work.
Yeah,
I don't know what he was doing. I guess he was just walking, but hey, you found it.
Like respect, man.
That is so awesome.
I like
3.5 hours.
I like
bro.
to think that he is still hunting now and killing big deer out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool.
But in South Dakota, like man, guys freak out about like their spot. Like if they've been hunting this one public land, this corner for 20 years, like it's like this is mine. You can't hunt it. Even if you get there and there's no tree stands there, and you put a tree stand up, you best believe you'll come back. You'll find a note. Hey, me and my son been hunting this spot for the last 30 years. You got to move your stand, or they'll just take it down for you.
Wow,
you won't find it.
Bro, that is insane.
Yeah,
that's all. That is insane. I always use the analogy of saying, public land isn't yours because you piss on the spot, right? It's not your territory because you go up and pee on it. But
I pay my taxes.
That's right. That's right. But I guess, there's two sides to that, right? I guess if it was you, and if it was, Trey, let's say me and you have been hunting a spot all our lives, right? And some new person comes in. I don't know that I'm gonna write them a note. I'm probably gonna try to shake their hand if I can. But I guess you can't tell somebody where they can't hunt, right? But at the same time, I'm gonna help that person, right? Because Tristan, you know me, like we've got that public land up there in Illinois, and I know it. I literally know every ditch in 6,000 acres. I could tell you trees that I've watched grow, and I help people out all the time. Especially like when not going up there. I tell them, hey, but there's still today. There's areas up there that I get calls every year from people, and they'll be like, "You coming up here this year?" And I said, "Nope." And they're like, "Hot damn," that's what they say. But I appreciate that. But man, what a tough, it's such a tough thing to deal with. But I feel like if I do run into that situation, I got to help this person out, maybe Tristan can't go with me. Why don't you come with me that day? Or what, I don't know.
One topic I thought was interesting today that I'll run by you guys. So I saw this video today of this guy, e-bike goes past him and he goes, "Oh, another, expletive on a e-bike." And I'm breaking it down in my head. I'm like thinking, man, like I would be pissed honestly if I was walking into a spot and it was like 45 minutes or an hour and like I'm walking out to that spot, putting in the work, knowing I'm like doing the most to try to kill a deer right now, and then an e-bike goes past me. I would be kind of pissed, but it's kind of one of those things like I also get the e-bike perspective, working smarter, not harder. But I think like, I don't know, man. I was breaking it down in my head, and I'm like, I got to talk about this on the podcast.
Are you jealous about it?
I think ultimately, if they like ban that in a state that I was hunting,
Illinois banned.
I'd be cool with it.
You can't use it in Illinois.
If not, I understand. You know what I mean? What do you guys think?
No, Illinois, you can't use it. You could have the same.
Yeah, but that's not an answer. I understand, but what do you think about it?
I think that if they allow it, I would definitely buy one at 53. Before, but if I was 20 something and they're allowed and somebody came past me, I'd be like, touche. That's how I'd feel. Honestly, even if I couldn't afford it, because the inner part of you has to admit, whether you want to admit it or not, that this guy or gal is working smarter than I am or has more money than I do. So
What do you think, Trey?
So I used to be against them, but it was because I didn't know nothing about them. But this year we were in me and my buddy Rex were out in Colorado, and we were walking down this trail and just calling elk, and we hunted this weird unit in Colorado where you ain't spotting a stalking elk. You literally getting up in a tree and hoping you see one.
Wow.
And this dude comes flying by on a e-bike. I never heard it. Even when he I never heard it. It was like it sounded like a hybrid car, just
Wow.
real faint. And I'm like, we need one of them. Because I don't know what brand he got. That joker is quiet. Now, I mean, you're gonna run over sticks and leaves and stuff so that's making noise, but the actual bike, I didn't hear.
Wow.
I'm for it, but like I feel like it's gonna scare something away. So I mean, if you can use it, cool. I'm not gonna get one, but like I don't know.
I know that's how I am, man.
But
well, and then think about this too. We know for certain, and I know that there's a lot of people that will be listening to this podcast right now that has their own private land, and they will say that the deer don't mind you nothing as long as I'm in the side-by-side or I'm in the truck. And I've even hunted places where they're like, we're going to drop you off in my truck right at the base of your tree stand because there's a road that goes by it or whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, are they crazy? And they're like, trust me, the deer, like, you're better off doing this than walking your scent that 300 or 400 yards or whatever. So I guess there's something to be said about what deer are used to, but if they're not used to it, then I got to think that if I was a deer and I saw somebody ripping by on a bike, I'd be like, all right, I'm running.
I'm gone. Yeah.
Because that dude's trying to keep up with me. And that, and we might get caught. Those people walking down the road, yeah, we know them. We can run away from them. We can't get away from this guy on the bike.
Yeah, he moving a little quick. I
That's right.
used to get mad because like my ex, her brother, they're all farmers. So like during hunting season, sometime they would start combining like either corn or soybeans or whatever. And I'd be like, they know I'm hunting. Why are they doing that?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, like I know you got to get this done, but like I'm hunting today. He was like right by the fence. He's like, dude, they're not worried about this combine. They see this combine every single year. They know I'm not trying to hurt them. So they'll if they in front of it, they'll run. But for the most part, they'll step to the side and just keep on trucking. Like, dude, you ain't got nothing to worry about. And I'm like, oh, I never thought about that.
Dude,
like,
I remember feeling that same way. Whenever I the first time I hunted some private land, which was my step uncle, and he's out there combining, and I'm like, man, this is gonna mess up all the deer hunting. No, dude, it's a dinner bell.
Yep.
It's what it is. It's a dinner bell when it comes to now. The only thing that is the most frustrating when you're hunting public land, private land, happen to you is if it's happening to you while you're hunting or it happens before you go hunt, and that's when you go show up and you're like, dude, there's this cut cornfield. Dude, the deer are gonna be smoking it.
Yep.
And then you show up the next week and you're like, they plowed it.
Yep.
And you're like, gosh dang it. I mean, I went to my step uncle one time and I go, what could we work out? If about you plowing under that corn so fast. He goes, not a damn thing. So I go, what do you mean? There's gotta be $1. He goes, no, listen, it's so important that I do that immediately because of the soil and everything. Yeah, because corn is the worst.
Yes.
It is the very worst. It drains the life out of it. And I mean, don't even get me going on the whole corn thing. but it's true. And but beans, you won't see that so much. Beans, you'll see them get cut. And if the only thing that happens usually they're not going to plow it, they're going to drill winter wheat.
Yeah, winter wheat or like rashes or something.
Yeah, but no, dude, there's nothing worse than you having a piece of privately leased land, and I swear that I will never lease another piece of private land without confirming with the farmer that do you plow your corn? Because if he tells me he does, I'm like, nope,
I'm done.
nope, I ain't doing it. Or you better but knock thousands off.
Yeah, I used to. I would hate. It's like the guys I started hunting with. They would drive their side by sides right underneath the tree. And I'm like, why y'all doing that? It would bug me. But I thought, well, maybe it's just me. And then my buddy Will, he told me the story, which is crazy. He had this huge buck, like it was a nice 10-point on his camera, and he would drive his truck probably maybe like 200 yards from his stand, and then walk in. He'd never see the deer. He'd get in his truck, and by the time he got down the road, he'd get a notification on his phone, deer's in the food plot. So he's like, what is going on? So he'd drive out there the next day. This deer was coming out every morning about like 10:30 during the rut. So he's like, I just can't figure this deer out. Like, he's coming out every morning when I'm not there at 10. The days I'm there, he don't come out. I'll sit all day, he won't come out. So his brother was like, hey, man, how about this? Because obviously you're doing something that's alerting the deer that you're there. But he just couldn't figure it out. So he was like, how about this? I'm going to sit in your truck. You walk in, and about 10 o'clock, I'm going to dip. I'm going to get out, slam the door, crank it up, and drive out. So then, like 2 weeks later, they go and they do this. Now, I'm not saying that what they did worked. Maybe that was just the day he came out. But as soon as Josh got in the truck and drove off, maybe about 15, 20 minutes later, this deer comes walking into the food plot.
No way.
Will puts him down. So after he puts him, he gets him and everything. He starts walking where he came from and finds his trail. Goes back, and it kind of bent around where he was bedded up at. If you lay down in the bed, you can see Will's truck in the parking lot.
No,
I believe it.
He can see the parking lot, and when you come into this walking spot, it's a gravel road, so you hear the gravel. So as I'm in my mind, he told me the story. I'm thinking, okay, cool. The deer can hear the gravel getting louder, so that means somebody's coming.
Right.
Hear the door shut. I'm staying put.
Right.
Then when
they know what a normal day feels like.
Yeah. And when he heard it the second time, okay, whatever was around is gone. I'm going to come on out. And he heard that truck leave. About 15, 20 minutes later, he walked out, got an arrow in his side.
I believe it, dude.
Wow,
I 100% believe it.
Wow, that's so cool to like think out of the box like that and make something. I mean, granted, it could have just been that day, like you said.
Yeah, that's why I was like, man,
but still,
it was just that day.
but still, just thinking out of the box like that, I mean, might work for you, man. Might work.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that funny when you really break it down? Is that we, the deer hear the vehicle coming, or vehicles, right? And then we get to there and we go like, don't slam the door. Don't slam the door. Like I remember one of the first times I took Tristan hunting, he slammed the door. I go, hey, don't ever slam the door. You know what I mean? As a dad, but it really didn't, like as Cade would say, didn't make a shit. It probably didn't matter, but there's a reason why big bucks are big.
Yeah.
And what I think we all forget about is that 100% of their life, and we don't give enough respect to does. They're all deer, but 100% of their lives, they are learning.
Yeah.
100. So why do everybody goes, oh, that's the dumb button buck. It's the dumb spike.
Yeah.
Guess what? Yeah, they're dumb.
But
guess what? Yeah. They are learning their ass the hard way right then. And they're doing this 365 days, 24/7, 100% of the time that they are on this planet is avoiding predators.
Yeah.
So listen, I need to implement some of that with my wife, maybe.
What do you mean?
I'm just trying to think about being better. That maybe I need to focus more, like all the time, on like making her happy. That way she doesn't get mad at me about hunting. No. But I'm saying my stepdad used to say, if you owned a house and you have everything the way it is, and somebody walks in your living room and moves something, when you walk in there, you're gonna notice. Deer do that. They notice in every way. things being cut, cars, like you said, the steps, all of that stuff, because that's all they do. That's all they do.
Yeah, it's survival. Like my brother, he was like when he started hunting, he was coming to me for all kind of information, like about scent and all that stuff, because he thought it didn't matter. I said, bro, peep this. I said, think about this. If someone came to your house to hunt you, and they came inside your house, you know your house more than anybody.
Yeah.
You know every corner, every room, all that. So you would, like you said, you would know if something moved or if you hear a sound that you don't normally hear. Now you're on high alert. If you're being hunted,
Yeah.
like I mean, I'm sure they don't know. Like I don't think they know they're being hunted. But if you're terrified, you're scared of whatever's coming. Your whole entire life, they live their whole entire life on alert.
Yes.
Signs and all that. Yo, they pay attention to the smallest thing.
Yes.
I've even heard someone say, like, if you step on some grass, they know that the grass has been stepped on like 22 days or something after you gone. I'm like, I don't know how true it is. I hear a lot of stuff in the hunting world that haven't gotten confirmation if it's true. You got the turkey hunters, right?
Yep. Well, we're amateurs.
I'd say we're like half-hearted turkey hunters.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask y'all this because someone told me this and I still ain't got an answer yet. I've even talked to like veteran turkey hunters and they like, yeah, it sounds about right, but I don't believe them. They said that a turkey's eyesight is so good that they can see a tick on a leaf at 300 yards.
I believe it.
I don't believe
I
that.
do.
I don't.
And let me tell you why I believe it.
I don't believe
Listen,
that
listen.
shit. No, you don't.
No.
You
Listen.
don't believe that. It's
Listen.
not true. There's no
I'm
way.
going to tell you why I believe it. Listen, now, you might.
I believe the
tick at 300 yards.
I believe the bigger metaphor.
They can
there.
see the tick
like
move.
what they're saying. You know, like, I believe it.
Listen, they can see a tick move. If that's what they're focused on, I guarantee you they can. Because, listen, bird eyesight is incredible. Hawks, falcons, eagles, dude, they're seeing shit on a way different level. I will tell you this.
Not 300 yards.
Listen, Trey.
Yeah, they might see me at 300 yards.
Listen, I'm talking. He's talking. All right. So is that through the woods or is it open? And there's just one tree with a tick walking on it. Yes, they would see that tick move.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
Nope.
If it's true,
Not in the woods. No.
I'm not believing it.
I will
dude.
tell you this, man.
That's bullshit.
I used to joke around. I will put turkeys. Let me bridge this gap. All my life growing up in Illinois, bow hunting, I tried to be in position for a turkey while I'm deer hunting because in Illinois you shoot a turkey during
fall. Yeah.
fall, and I just wanted to kill everything, so that was all right. And dude, every single time for 30 something years of my bow hunting career, and I'm talking about 150 to 200 hours a year in a tree stand, I never could get to full draw on a turkey. Ever. As soon as I tried, and there they go. I'm like, there is no way. There is I remember one time I had 3 turkeys out in front of me and I turned my head so slow that I didn't even notice it move. And I don't know if they saw the color, my white face or whatever. And I'm like, there they go.
So
They
okay,
didn't hear me. Or they didn't hear me. They saw me.
you're also a lot bigger than a tick, I will say.
Yeah.
But what I will say too, so I have shot one with my bow, which I know you have too. But
Yep.
deer hunting, and
I have too.
I know. I just said you have.
But the only reason why I shot one is because it went past me and I shot it in the ass.
Okay, so there was this morning, Trey. Honestly, it's probably like the best hunting morning in my entire life. Long story short, I shot a hen turkey and a 8-pointer same morning. I'm like, that's never happening again.
Yep.
Well, these 17 or 18 hens or whatever came walking in. I knew about their eyesight, so I was like, I'm letting them all get past me, and then I'm gonna shoot the last one when they're all looking away. And to your point, I drew back, and I thought every single set of eyes was like forward. Somehow they knew, and they just started walking real fast. And thankfully, that one when I drew back was maybe 5 yards. So like by the time I'm like following her at full draw, and I just let one go and hit her. But like they knew somehow, and they started walking real fast.
I mean, point being is their eyes are just incredible. I mean, they just are. They are. But I do believe in an open field, if there's a tree out there, if there's an oak out in the middle of an open field in South Dakota, and you see that one tree and there's a tick walking up it, that turkey might be like, yep.
Trey, did you know you just opened up this can of worms?
When the guy told me on one of my shows, so I put the clip out, and dude, on TikTok, and I had people, man, it ain't true. Oh no, it is true, man. It was probably 50-50. Like, so I don't know. I gotta ask the turkey, man. How far can you see a tick?
That's good stuff.
That is, man.
One thing I wanted to ask you, man. So, you know, like one of the biggest things for me, like in my bow hunting journey, was like I'd messed it up so many times when I was younger because, you know, I think when I was shooting deer when I was younger, honestly, half of it was just getting lucky because like dealing with the adrenaline rush and like staying present in that moment and like executing and putting a good shot on the deer. I mean, I could have shot twice as many deer as I have right now if I wouldn't have messed up so many opportunities.
Oh man, we all.
Do you like being like as a older onset hunter, not somebody just grew up doing it as a kid? Like, do you have any like advice, I guess, for people like in executing in that moment? I guess.
Good question.
Or something that helped you.
Man, what helped me is honestly, I tell people this that's asked me that question before. Man, football helped me because, like, in the heat of the moment, you gotta have your composure about yourself. If not, you can get your head knocked off. So, like, a deer's not trying to kill me, so I can pretty much I can control my adrenaline and all that in the moment. And then once it's, the deed is done, then I can't control myself. So I tell people just like try to practice it. You can do all the sit-ups and push-ups and stuff and then go shoot your bow. It don't really help. I'm sorry. People going to laugh at me or say something. I don't care. It don't really help. But the best thing you can do is just get out in the woods and just remember go through your shot sequence. Like, don't think about the antlers. Don't think about what you're gonna do with it because I'm guilty of that. I think about how the backstrap's gonna taste before I even but like you just gotta just like don't focus on the rack. If it's a buck, just focus on putting that arrow where it needs to go. Go through your shot sequence and execute. And that's every time you pull your bow back. Like if you're in your backyard, don't just a lot of us do it. We just pull back and shoot. Like really focus on all right. Like I do this. I'm like, all right, I have a 3D target in the back, and I'm just kind of go through it, put my pen where it needs to, find my spot, and just do the same thing over and over and over again. That way, when it's game time, it's second nature. You don't even think about it. You just automatically just get there. So it's just practice a lot and don't take any reps for granted.
That's
great advice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well,
just like to circle the loop on that question and all that. Like to your point, that's what changed it for me was like being present. Like there was a guy on Joe Rogan. It might have been John Dudley. I don't remember who exactly it was. It was one of those like big archery guys. And he was talking about being extremely present in the moment. And the only way you can make yourself be present is if you think through every single thing. So
I think it was Green Tree.
When I get in a stand, like I pull back my bow one time just to like make sure like I get the arrow on, pull it back one time and just make sure that like everything's good. And when I do that, I think about like visually seeing the deer, putting it where I want to be, making sure I don't punch the trigger when I let go. Like all those little things to your point, shot sequence. But I'm glad you said that because that's what helped me too, is,
Well, and that's why Papa Dale used to always say, pick a spot.
Yeah.
Because there's been two sentences in my life that have been so short but meant so much that I didn't realize until later in life. And one is pick a spot, two is go to church. All right? I mean, seriously, I didn't know how powerful my grandfather said, go to church. I didn't realize. I just thought it was, he just said go to church. I didn't realize what the impact it might have in my life. Same thing with pick a spot. What Jerry was teaching me by saying that is staying focused.
Yeah.
Staying focused on that spot because it's so hard. You can't recreate a situation where a buck's walking in. You're going to shoot him at 15 yards. Boom. Jumps real quick, turns to the side, something like that, and you got to make a split second decision on whether you're going to try to harvest this animal or not.
Or here's another one: you pull back when he's behind that tree, and then he stops, and now you can't let your bow down.
Yeah.
Now you're at full draw for a minute or 2 minutes, and you haven't practiced that.
Right?
Hey, at that point, you just gotta man up at that
Yeah,
point.
bro, I know.
They're smart son of a guns, and sometimes this deer one, us nothing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's just the way it works, and that's why we love it so much. I had probably before I harvested my first Pope and Young buck, I have got 20 years of stories. I know that sounds like you two might be sitting there going, I can't even imagine that, but a failure. We didn't have trail cameras. We didn't have releases. We shot fingers, shot aluminum arrows, all these things. And I can tell you, I could do a podcast on it. Just that alone of
Tony's failures.
like literally, I almost quit hunting 3 or 4 times in my life, and one for sure. And you know that story.
Yeah.
But that's what drives us, right? And that's where you in my life, that was the perseverance piece of me.
Yeah.
And that is stemmed forward to my professional career. All these things, I believe it has in my mind, that just same thing with football, right? Diversity, right? You get your ass kicked one night,
Adversity.
I said adversity.
You
I said diversity.
Diversity. So adversity. No, but you're getting your ass kicked one night. You don't know why. You just do, and it's a humbling moment.
Yep.
And you wake up the next day as a team, and you go, "All right, listen, what are we going to do to fix this?"
Yeah.
And maybe it's getting in that presence that you talked about, right? Bringing up your level of expertise. Like I told Tristan, I said, this is a great story, but he made a game-saving tackle as a Little League football player in triple overtime. Saved the game. They won the game. I remember telling him when he was little, 11 or 12 years old, I said, this is what professional athletes do every play.
Mm-hmm.
I go, when you knew that I've got to make this tackle right now, I've got to make it. That's what they do. Professional athletes do it every play. That's the presence they bring. And that's the difference outside of skill is,
Yeah.
and God gifts,
No,
of
but
course.
yeah, mindset, obviously.
But I love that you brought that up when it comes to sports, because it really is something that you can't recreate. I mean, you can't make it up.
if you don't play,
You got to prepare for it,
tackle football. How are you going to recreate that?
right? No, you got to just put in the work,
Yeah.
like you said, taking the shots, going through all that.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things I get on my brother about, because he's one of those guys that he'll pick his bow up a week before the season, go out and shoot a couple shots, get it, make sure it's dialed in, and then he won't pull his bow back again until he's pulling back on a deer, or he won't pull it out until we get ready to go to a total archery challenge or something like that. And I'm like, dude, you got to shoot more, because what are you going to do when that buck comes out? Well, just like a 3D target, I'll be ready. All right, I'm at this point in my life. All right, bro, I'm gonna let you have it. So last season, he sends me this picture. He got this nice 8-point that's been showing up in front of his stand. Say, hey, bro, go get him. This will be your first archery deer. Probably won't be there opening day, but you know what? I'm good luck to you. Sure enough, that bad boy walked out that morning,
Wow.
30 yards, and he shot him over the back. Went back that afternoon. That buck comes up because he hunts over corn. That buck came back to that feeder. He shot underneath him.
Oh,
He was like, dude, I don't know what's going on. Like, I pull my bow back and I get to shaking. I'm like, yeah, that's because you're not going through your shot sequence, and you've never felt that. You never pulled back on an animal before, so it's a whole different feeling. And I was like, that's why you got to shoot more. And this summer, he was shooting every single day.
Good for him.
Wow.
Even if he was like, man, I got 15 minutes, before I got to take the girls to dance, I'm getting out in the yard. That's all you need. You can get 30, 40 arrows sling in 15 minutes.
Right.
So and he's practicing. I can even see it in his face now. I've done a couple sits with him, and he's focused. He's not on his phone. I mean, he's paying attention to everything. He's in the moment. Like last weekend, we're out sitting, and this crow landed on this like dead branch, and the branch fell down. And the crow started freaking out. He was like, "Bro, we would have never seen that if he wasn't out here, man. Like we in the moment, right?"
Yes, I love
I've been
that.
telling you, bro.
Let's go.
Like, that's what I've been telling you. He's like, man, the air smell different, and we're hunting a different part of a property that we haven't hunted before. And he's like, dude, this is dope. I'm like, yeah, man, you got to be in the moment.
Yes,
because when you get up, like when that deer, because he has a really nice 8-point on his cameras he's been seeing. So, bro, when that deer come out, you're gonna be ready. Like I see it in your face now, and I know he's out hunting right now. I've been looking at my phone, hoping I get a call, but I ain't got one yet. But that's the thing, and I try to tell people like you can't recreate none of that, man. Like when you're in that moment, there's nothing that I can you can recreate or do. Like you guys know Derek Wolf.
Yeah,
Yep.
the defensive tackle for the Broncos, right? That's a bow hunter.
Yep.
Or he retired, obviously, but he's a bow hunter.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I had him on the show.
Oh no way!
Oh yeah, he's dope. And I asked him, I was like, what, like how did it feel to get your first elk? And he was like, dude, I sacked Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. Got up screaming like a wolf with 100-some-thousand people yelling my name. And the first time I pulled back on the elk, he goes, there's no comparison to that.
No way.
Oh,
You
wow.
got 100,000 people hollering your name and that adrenaline. He goes, the adrenaline rush you get from that elk hunt. He goes, that ain't nothing like it.
Wow, dude.
Wow.
That's something you can't recreate. If you can't get there, I don't know how to tell you.
Well,
Oh my God, that's insane.
That is insane. We were talking a little bit off air, and if you guys follow us, you know a little bit about my mom, but I was sharing a little bit of that with Trey. And one thing of advice that I will pass on that my mom was a big believer in, and I still believe in it today, is you got to visualize.
Yep.
You got to visualize. Like if you got that buck, right, and you know what he looks like, right, and you know you've done all the work. You've set your tree stand up, you're playing the wind, you're doing all these things. I guess the best thing I've seen recently that helps you like visualize it is, remember that thing on the Blue Angels that we watched?
Yeah.
All right. And they sit there in formation.
A conference room.
Yeah, in a conference room, and they're all sitting in their chairs like they're in jets, and they're going, all right, left wing one, all this. And they walk through it because they're visualizing it. And my mom would say that. She goes, because she never wounded a deer, dude. Not one. All 3 of those bucks were shot and killed, done. And she waited sometimes 3-4 years for each one of those opportunities. And what it was is that she found comfort in visualizing it. Put yourself there, sit down, take a time out, sit there on the couch, shut everything off, put your phone down, TV off, all that stuff. And if you're really wanting to shoot a big buck, think about where he's going to come from. What's that going to feel like? What's that going to look like? And that only helps you in those situations.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off that, like, and I don't know your thoughts on this, Trey, but like how often, you're in that moment, and like this is just me flashing back to when I was younger. Like, I might have been thinking like it would have been this like slow walk up of this buck or whatever. They come in hot, dude, sometimes, and then you're full draw, and you say, man, and then you get them to stop. And then you're freaking out. You like the buck doesn't stop where you want to. But that whole the first time I did that, I shot over the back of the deer because he came running down this creek behind me, and it was like right about dark. Still shooting light, but getting close to dark. And I stopped him in the creek, shot right over his back. And it's because mentally I had not walked through that scenario and just I don't know what happened. Probably used my wrong pen. I don't even know.
Yeah,
dude. No. I would do it when I was when I played football. Like I would just. I would sit on the bus, and a lot of guys talking and stuff, and I'm just like, just going through this play in my head. Okay, if the linebacker does this, I'm gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this. And I'm just in visualizing it, like what I'm gonna do. And when even though I say this, my first archery deer was a doe. Like I remember walking to the stand, like, when she come out, if a deer come out, I'm just gonna pull back. I'm gonna put the pin where it's supposed to be, and I'm gonna let it go. And because I was just basic. I didn't know
that was built in your nature from football.
I was like, that's how I got to do it. Now I didn't account for the the buck fever. I didn't count for that, but it's like I'm not going to execute the shot unless I see it. Like I gotta envision that arrow hitting her right in the vital V. Boom, done, game over. And I just kept seeing it. Now in my head, it was a buck. It wasn't no doe, but
Right.
it's the same thing.
Oh, dude. I mean, I've had, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's been deer. I know there's been does that have jacked me up way worse than you're like, I need some meat. So here comes this doe walking in early season. You're like, she's coming right down this 12-yard run. You're like, here we go. All right. This is a piece of cake, right? And then she, for some reason, 2 steps before you're going to shoot, stops and looks right at you and does that. And they start throwing that body language at you, right? Yeah, dude. It's like, they throw that body language and you're like, I don't like the body language. I don't like the body language. And you're just, dude, I don't care. That's what I love still at 53 years old, man. A doe, whatever I'm trying to harvest deer-wise, they can mess you up, dude. And because that means it's so important to you, right? Whatever that scenario is. And man, I still love that part of it, even with failure.
You know when buck fever really hit you?
What's that?
What's that?
When you pay for a hunt and it's the last day.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
I paid for a ram hunt last October, and like my fiance, she killed a hog. My brother killed a hog. I was the only one hunting the ram. And last day, and I ain't seeing the ram all week long. I'm like, I can't. Well, I've been seeing them, but I can't get a shot on them. They're so skittish. And finally, they get like 20 yards from me. I'm like, all right, chip shot. And then I go to full draw, and it just hits me. If I miss this shot, that's $1,500 gone, and I'm handed. And I really started like shaking.
Yeah, it just all hit you all at once.
Well, I put a shot on it, but I'm like, man, I ain't got buck fever like this bad in a long time. And my brother goes, yeah, because you paid for the hunt. ain't no coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, true that.
That's great. I remember thinking about this. I mean, just a quick story about approach of the deer. I remember this 10-pointer that I had pegged on this private land. He was coming out to this clover field every night. We knew it. And when he decided to come out this night, he was going to F up some trees. And he messed up some trees. He hit some branches and made like 3 rubs. And I know to this day, I know when I originally shot and missed that I said there was a branch, but I know it's because I was so jacked up, bro. I did not expect that deer to come in like that. And he had me so wired out that I don't even remember the shot really. It's just like you said, I was just like,
You don't even know what happened.
I don't even know what happened. I mean, I was just my adrenaline shot up so high with all that. Like, oh my God,
Yeah,
oh
you
my
didn't
God, oh my
visualize
God,
that
oh my
happened,
God,
yeah.
oh my goodness. What a sport we love.
I know.
Man.
I love it.
Well, man, Trey, we could talk for 7 hours. It seems like at this pace. Man,
Oh, yeah. I'm all down. Not good.
Oh, bro, we got to do this more.
I want to hear. I guess before we get out here, man, like of the time of like hunting, your deer hunting or whatever you've hunted, ram. Like what's like been the pinnacle of it so far, man?
Oh, the pinnacle would be, and I've told the story before. It don't end with me getting the animal, but it was my very first elk hunt. My buddy Rex go out to Colorado, and we're just walking, calling, and this bull comes running in. And mind you, up until this hunt, I've never seen a bull in the wild, only on TV.
Yeah.
Wow.
This 6x6 comes running in, and when we first saw him, he's probably like 80 yards away. And by the time we could get like set up, he like closed the gap. He's at like 35 yards, and there's like a big pine tree between me and him. Well, when the pine tree was like a spruce tree between me and him. So I'm at full draw, and he's walking, and then there's like a little small gap, and then there's another big spruce tree. He walks right behind that tree, gets to the end of it, and I can just see his head, but no vitals. And I'm at full draw. and he like stops. And I can smell him at this point. Like I'm like, oh, he reeks. Like I can't wait. And then he bugles. And I heard the bugle for the first time, and it just sent chills down my spine. And I'm like,
my
like,
god!
oh my gosh, my because at this point I've only been archery hunting like 2 years, and it's like, oh man, all this is led up to this moment right here. It's going down. It is the first day. Oh, it's it. And he just stands there and he bugles again. And I'm thinking my buddy's going like cow call, but he's in awe because he never heard no elk bugle. So he's standing there with the call in his hand. And I'm like, we'll draw it. I'm looking back at him like, hey man, like, chirp back to him, do something. Then he like, I could feel the wind shift and it hit the back of my neck and he got my scent and he just like runs off and he gets, probably like 50, 60 yards from me. And I was not about to shoot an elk at 50, 60 yards. I just wasn't experienced enough. And he like looked back at us and like he's ran off and he was gone. And I'm still standing there at full draw. And I'm like, man, this is what this shit is all about.
Man,
like this is what it's all about, man. Like it didn't end in me getting harvesting an elk, but it's just like
a memory of a lifetime.
Yeah, I see why people do this. Like I got one, it's my first elk hunt. I got to see a bull. He bugled at us twice, ran off, stepped back, let us get a good look at him. Like, yeah, you ain't never gonna get this, baby. and then he took off, and man, like we didn't see another elk that week, but that whole hunt was just so cool because we got to see, like, I'd never been to Colorado before. Well, I've been to Colorado. I've been in the Air Force Academy, but I never, on a visit, but I never like went out in the woods in Colorado. But I had never actually been out and seen the world of Colorado and seen the woods and the vast woods and all of God's creation. Like I ain't never seen none of that before.
Yeah.
It was like, this is amazing, man. It
was amazing just being there, right?
It was amazing. And then of course I had altitude sickness, so I won't forget that. I was all sick and dehydrated. But the whole trip was just like dope. And I'll never forget it. Like one, because I didn't shoot that elk, but just the show he gave us, and it was just amazing, man. And out of all my hunts, even the ones that ended with me taking the animal, that one is the one that stands up to me because it was just everything I wanted in the elk hunt, minus harvesting one. It was all everything bundled up in one, and I love it.
That's awesome. What a great story.
Well, man, thank you so much for spending the time to us tonight, dude. Like, especially just me reaching out like randomly, like, hey, dude, your page looks cool. You want to come on the podcast?
Hey, bro, but that's how you do it, though. I tell like Cass be like, man, how'd you get such and such on your show? I just messaged him, man. Like, hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Hey, man, you want to come on my show?
That.
Right.
My mom always said a closed mouth don't get fed. So
there it is, man.
You better say something.
That's right.
Well, thank you, man. Tell everybody
Trey, thank you, man.
Where
we
they
really
can follow
appreciate
you
your time.
and the podcast and all that.
Oh yeah, man. You can find the podcast on Carbon TV. You can find it over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. My TikTok is the Dreaded Archer, or Dreaded DA_Dreaded Archer 17. Instagram is the same thing, DA_Dreaded Archer 17. Facebook is DeAndre Reed. You can hit me up. I normally answer right back real quick. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys reaching out to me, and I mean I enjoyed this, and we definitely got to do it more, man. I'm always down for it.
Well, we tell everybody this too, because you get through the ATL area, man, need a place to crash or something like that. Tristan and I both more than welcome. Just
man, I was supposed to be in Atlanta the first of this month because I was going to do an event at the Sickle store down there.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
But I was with this group, it was called the New Jack Archers, and it was just some bad stuff happened, and we ended up breaking up. So that whole deal went under. But I was looking forward to coming to Atlanta to be at the Sickle store.
Well, dude, yeah, if you ever end up doing that, making that trip, let me know. I'd love to. I've been out there for well, first of all, like the Braves stadium's right there.
Yep.
So like we go to a lot of the Braves games, but Delta Waterfowl has had a couple events down at the Sitka store, so I've gone down a couple times for that.
Hey man, if it's open invitation, I jump on the plane, I hop in the car, I drive. I'm always like I love because I've only been to Atlanta at the airport.
Yeah.
That's the only
That's
time
everybody,
I'm
bro.
going to Atlanta. And you guys got some restaurants that I need to get down there and try because I plan my vacations around what I'm going to eat.
Oh,
So-
dude, we've been trying to get better. Like, I'll keep this short. We've been trying to get better. So, like, we live in this part of town called Duluth, and it's like northeast. And for whatever reason, there's a huge Vietnamese population here, and like Korean and all that. But like, their food is insane, and like all these people travel from like downtown Atlanta to come eat at these spots. And me and my wife are like trying to get better about like venturing out like once a month at least, you know, and trying some of these spots.
Y'all got a spot down there called the Breakfast Bar. I'm trying to slide to.
Oh yeah,
So on
Right.
Food Network.
there you go. Well, cool, man. Well, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no, dude. Super appreciate your time. Can't wait to connect with you again. Hopefully, it's our way to harvest some animal.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm down for it, man. Y'all call me. I'm down. And if you guys ever want to come to Texas and hunt some hogs or something, let me know. We can get something set up.
That's a good time.
Sounds good, man. Thank
All right,
you.
brother. You take care now.
You too.
See ya.
Thank you.
Later.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on a midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.